today we're going to talk about aspects. So you may be pretty familiar with planetary relationships and signs and houses. Even more important than these relationships are the planets' relationships with each other. The planets represent the different parts of us that reside in our psyche. So how they interact with each other has a major impact on our personality and our well-being. Astrologers call these planetary relationships aspects. Aspects are determined by a very simple method, geometric angles, that the planets form with one another. So when two planets are a specific distance from one another, they are said to form an aspect. There are 5 major aspects that most astrologers use. They are conjunctions at 0 degrees, sextiles at 60 degrees, squares at 90 degrees, trines at 120 degrees, and oppositions at 180 degrees. We are going to go over those 5 major aspects and take a look at the positives and negatives in each aspect. Let's start with a conjunction. A conjunction is usually considered a positive aspect or relationship. When a planet is conjunct, it just means it is right next to another planet. So an astrology conjunction is a 0-degree connection. The planets are almost holding hands. And most of the time, this plays out where we have multiple planets in the same sign. So we have a really heavy focus on that area of life. And the energy is all working together towards the same thing. It's almost like they are frolicking happily along their path in life, skipping and holding hands. The energy flows really freely here, and it has a strong electrical charge. A conjunction is said to be one of the most powerful of all aspects in astrology. Now let's just say you have 2 planets conjunct or next to each other in different signs. It might feel like they are chained together rather than working in harmony. Since each sign is a reaction of the sign that came before it, they just don't get along. One is masculine and one is feminine. Their qualities, cardinal, fixed, or mutable, will be different. This tells us that they will have different ways to reach the same goal. They operate differently. This means they may be fighting each other on the way to that goal. Moving on to sextiles. A sextile in astrology is when 2 planets are 60 degrees apart or 2 signs. A sextile is considered a positive or easy aspect, but we need to work for it. Sextiles show us opportunities. If acted on, these opportunities can produce talents and positive benefits. However, if you do not exert any effort or initiative, these aspects can quickly become passive and lazy. It is a very strong bond, and one that works even better if it is nurtured and encouraged. They inspire each other. They produce new ideas and opportunities that flow smoothly between different aspects of a person's life. In a sextile, both planets will be in the same polarity, so they will both be masculine or both be feminine. So the energy does flow beautifully here. It has a very strong current, not as strong as a conjunction, but definitely in second place. A trine is a 120-degree aspect. So when 2 planets are trine, they are 120 degrees apart on your chart, or 4 signs away. A trine between 2 planets means that there is almost no resistance there. In a trine, the planets are of the same element. Elements in astrology are fire, earth, air, and water. They are working towards the same thing and they want the same outcome. you may find a lot of fortune where there are trines in your chart. An opposition in astrology happens when two planets are 180 degrees apart, or 6 signs. Oppositions are planets that are opposite each other in astrology. Oppositions create tension or friction that needs to be balanced. They are considered a negative aspect. However, they do help us to grow, evolve, and mature. Oppositions create a tug of war internally. Both planets will share the same polarity, masculine or feminine. They will share the same quality, cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Their elements will even be compatible, fire to air or earth to water. They face the world in the same way, but their priorities are different. Opposing signs have more in common than we initially think, but they are forever at odds to decide which is the best solution to the problem at hand. When we can give equal time and value to both sides, we will come into a state of balance and integration. It's all about compromise and finding fairness. And lastly, the square. The square aspect in astrology is a 90-degree angle formed by two planets. So when two planets fall 90 degrees or 3 signs apart in your chart, they form a square. Squares are said to be the hardest aspects in astrology. They create a lot of tension and can even block the flow of energy. We feel the squares. They struggle to express themselves. This aspect, because of the discomfort it causes, creates the greatest productivity. When we are uncomfortable, we want to do something about it. This is the gift of the square. It is not an easy effort, as each planet does become stressed. They will both have to put in the effort and meet the other halfway. They will not want to compromise, and this creates an internal conflict within the psyche. When a square is present, they will have the same quality, cardinal, fixed, and mutable. You may think this is a good thing. However, imagine two cardinal energies in a fight. Think of two Aries men battling it out. Lots of tension there. I hope you enjoyed this, and please read on for even more information about aspects. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Psychic Source video presentation. If you'd like to go more in depth about the aspects that appear in your birth chart, please call Sarah or any one of our gifted advisors at www.psychicsource.com.